Are you serious? Are you serious? Wow, Syria is very upset. President Assad, who is backed completely by the Russians, extremely furious as the United States-led coalition just hit a deadly strike against Assad's troops, not against ISIS, but Assad's troops in Syria. Assad is calling this an act of aggression. Damascus, where Assad is in his bunker, has just labeled this attack by U.S.-led forces as an act of aggression, as a U.S.-led coalition missile strike, which has killed 3 Syrian soldiers at an army base there in the Deir ez-Zor province of Syria. On the top of the fatalities, 13 other personnel were wounded, injured, and a number of military vehicles were destroyed when warplanes fired 9 missiles into this Assad's military camp. The incident is the first of its kind since the coalition started their bombing campaign in the Syrian territory more than a year ago, though the U.S.-led alliance continues to deny it carried out the airstrike. Here's a quote. Everyone knows what's going on. Istanbul residents on Turkey, ISIS oil trade. Syria strongly condemns the act of aggression by the U.S.-led coalition that contradicts the UN Charter on Goals and Principles. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has sent letters to the United Nations Secretary General and the UN Security Council. Syria is very upset at what happened. But now what's going on here, folks, is the United States, and of course you guys know who Assad is, and he's the guy that gassed his own people. And at the same time, when he was leading, before the Arab Spring, Assad had a peaceable Syria. He let the Muslims live there, the Christians, very few Jews, but there was a few, and everybody was living. It was a very, pretty well a peaceable nation. But when the Arab Spring broke out, when Obama started calling for these different Middle Eastern nation leaders to be toppled, and they were. Tunisia's Ben Ali, and Egypt's Hosni Mubarak, and Libya's Muammar Gaddafi, and Yemen's Ali Abdullah Saleh, and then he called for the end of Bashir Assad. But Assad did not completely end. I mean, Syria's falling apart. There's 14 different armies in Syria right now. But Assad went underground in his bunker in Damascus, and Russia stepped in and said, you're not going to take Assad. You can have his whole country, but you're not going to take him and his few people that he has there in Damascus. And so the United States has primarily been working on ISIS, but now this is a strike against Assad's army. Now the United States is denying they did it, but Assad's not buying it, and the information, this is Russia Today, the information's starting to surface. Now, Putin, we'll see how he reacts to this. If he, exactly how he'll play this out. But again, this is a proxy war being fought in Syria between the United States and Russia, and between Turkey and Russia. And ISIS is benefactor by going around just with their caliphate, murdering and massacring, beheading and crucifying Christians throughout the entire 2 states of Iraq and Syria. That's what's going on. That is exactly what's going on. So, again, the Arab Spring started it all, plus Obama pulling out of Iraq after giving a 14 months head start that he was leaving. The fact he left all that equipment there for ISIS to pick up and get going. And the chaos that is, and the carnage and the confusion continues. And we're in the last days. Wow, are you serious? 14 different nations, 14 different type of armies are in Syria right now, whether they be terrorist groups or nations. 14.